Hello, everyone. Welcome to our channel. My name is Uchenna.
And I'm Dior.
And tonight we are going to be talking about Put a Ring on It, Season 3, Episode 8. So we're close to the end. I think there's only like 4 more episodes.
It needs to be over already.
I don't mind it. I thought today was actually interesting. I thought it was better than last week's, even though last week's was, yeah, I think it was better than last week's. But last week we got some revelations, which were good because it helped us understand the people more. But this week it started where it left off, as always, with us waiting for Charlie's answer on if she would go on a second date or not with Chris. And she decided that she would not go on a second date with Chris because Chris, told her that he wants to steal her away from her man. And she didn't want that type of pressure. She wanted just easy dates that are friendly, that they're just trying to be friends. And then Alfonso was like, let me tell you girls something. No guys going on these dates want to be your friend. And then Shay was like, what do you mean they don't want to be your friends? How about you? You guys are guys. And he was like, no girls going on these dates want to be your friend. And I agree. They don't want to be their friends. They're there to have a relationship or to have sex with them, one or the other. And so then Shay was like, women, or maybe it was Shorty was like, women are different. We can be friends with men while men can't do the same. And then Shay kind of called Alfonso out about that. And he said, yeah, that's why I don't have any female friends. And so she felt like that proved her point. I don't know if she ever said that he had a bunch of female friends. I know.
Well, I know when he was saying, you remember the one girl came and asked him for money. I think he was saying that it was just like a friend. So
okay. Yeah.
all the women that he never like introduced her to or acknowledged that she was his girlfriend, he would say that to his friends. So yeah.
Right. Yes. Right, surely did. And so then Otis, being Otis, we thought that he was a changed man from last episode, but he quickly showed that he wasn't. He said, he kind of put what that guy, Chris, said about the relationship on Charlie, saying the reason why Chris said that is because he saw her as a weak woman. Instead of seeing it the other way, which I think is what Chris was saying, he thinks that Otis is weak, which is why he would be able to steal Charlie from him. But of course, Otis would never see that because he sees himself as being someone spectacular, So even when other girls were like, that's an insult, Otis was like, oh, they're just saying that to support Charlie. They know what I'm saying is true. So
I missed the first, they were at the very end of that session when I started watching it. So, okay.
Yeah. So
I think she mentioned that, in the previews for next week. So I was like, what? But
right. Yeah. So that's what happened.
Okay.
And so that's kind of what happened with them in the group session at the beginning. And Charlie was really disappointed because she was like, I thought that we were making great progress. And then he goes and says something insulting like this. So she was pretty upset that he said that. And I just think that she should just leave him because he's not going to change. He thinks so highly of himself and they just don't have great communication with each other.
I mean, yeah, I definitely think he's a very toxic person, but she is also like when they're sitting and like, she's always kind of instigating and like other couples conversations and discussions, and even like when they're not even talking about, her and Otis, she's like, did you hear that?
Oh yeah, she does.
She does that a lot. And that's just so annoying. Like if you have to do all of that all the time, that's the issue.
Yeah, it shows that their relationship is not good when it means that they're always like trying to one up each other or prove a point. you know, that they don't have like a good, easy relationship. It's always contentious and they're trying to prove one person right, you know, so it's, yeah, I agree with you.
A battle.
Yeah, yes, exactly what it is, constantly. Okay, and so then Dr. Nicole assigns them they're not going on dates. She assigned them a task where they have to share with each other their wants and needs and then discuss it.
From the other person, right?
Yeah, what wants and needs from the other person and then discuss that. So they do that. And it seems like it's okay. Charlie starts telling Otis her wants and her needs. And she starts saying that, you know, we need more quality time, you know, and quality time doesn't mean sitting together on the couch on Instagram. That's not quality time. And I just want us to have more of that. And then instead of like, you know, receiving what she was saying, taking it in, he instantly got petty. And he was like, well, and then he started talking about what she does, that she does the same thing. And she's like, wait, this isn't what we're supposed to be doing. We're not going tit for tat. We're just supposed to express to each other what we need. And then the other person's list is to listen. And then she's like, okay, let's just move on. And she talks about that she needs more words of affirmation from him. And he was like, but I already do that. I tell you I'm proud of you. I'm telling you this and that. And she's like, I don't feel like you do it enough. And once again, he was being petty. So we didn't even get to hear his side of it, you know, what he wanted from her. We only heard what she wanted because they couldn't get anywhere. So
yeah, their communication is just terrible because I don't think it's necessarily like the things that he said or how he felt, but it's just the way he communicated it. Like if he had instead said, you know, I thought, because I mean, he did think that they were spending quality time together. So if he had said, you know, I really thought that we were spending quality time, like what's different from what we're doing that you want? Like if he said something like that, even when she brought up, you know, well, you're on Instagram, da, 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 da. Well, if she's doing that too, yes, that is a problem. Maybe she's not aware that she's also doing that. So maybe he could have said, yeah, I can see what you're saying. That's something we both need to work on, something like that. But it's just so hostile that they can't really hear, you know, they can't really see each other's faults and they see their own faults and they, you know, they're just trying to, like you said, one up who's better, who's more right, you know, who has more points. And it's just
that's what it is.
Like, why y'all even?
I'm sure
I could not be in that house all the time with somebody like that. Like I would have to leave because he said that they're always around you know, they're always spending time together.
Right.
I would have to like go to a grocery store. Like I couldn't be in the house with someone that's that toxic and just want to argue with you for the sake of arguing.
And I think it's because they get on each other's nerves. I think they love each other because of how long they've been together, but they don't have a good relationship. And it's to the point where everything gets on each other, little thing gets on their nerves. And then they fight and then they argue, you know, so I don't know. They need Dr. Nicole more.
There's no hope. Well, I don't think there's any hope. There's no hope. They need to get their losses before they waste any more time.
Right. Okay, so let's move on to Alfonso and Shay. You know, Shay was showing some growth, you know.
Not for long. Not for long.
No, I think it was pretty good because she usually goes ham, but she didn't. She told Alfonso right before his date that, you know what, she's not going to play any games. She's going to be good and allow him to really experience this process. You know, she's going to take what Dr. Nicole said into consideration and really
took it into consideration, but she didn't take it into practice.
Well, she did, because usually she would be on this girl talking smack, but she didn't. And I think they made an agreement that she would give the girls the rules, because he kind of said that at their second couples meeting.
But
So
the
the girl,
major point that Dr. Nicole made was
yeah,
that she has to allow him to do what he's going to do so she can see how he reacts to the situation. Like, that's the whole point of this whole thing. So if she's
I know,
giving
but like
rules,
I get it, but for
you're
me, I
not
would
doing
be,
what Dr. Nicole said at all.
I would be like, yeah, there has to be some boundaries. Like, I mean, for
But
real.
it's for him to set the boundaries.
Yeah,
And because you're never going to be in a relationship with this woman. So what does it matter that you're giving her rules, you know?
Right, right. So that's exactly what she did. She complimented the girl because she was super cute, really good looking, and she made it more of a friend vibe than a, combative vibe. And she laid down the rules. No touching, no sharing numbers, no anything like that. And the girl took it in stride. She was like, okay, she just kind of laughed it off and didn't get upset. And then Alfonso walked in. I don't know why he was wearing a gray velour t-shirt, but he was. And so she liked him. Like, everybody loves Alfonso. Everybody thinks he's sexy. So she was excited, and Shay mentioned that she thought the girl was super cute until she saw her walking around away, and she saw that she had booty shorts on, and they were short. And Shay said that it was like 10 degrees out, so that made it even funnier. So they go on their date to make sushi, and these people have some lit like dates. They're doing all these different types of things on their date.
Where were they? Because they were in a house.
Or maybe it was at the chef's house.
Maybe. Okay.
Yeah. So they're doing all of these different glass blowing, cake making, sushi making. I mean, it's fantastic. So they had fun, and it seems like they had good rapport. They were laughing and talking with each other. And Alfonso shocked us once again by, having some wisdom. When she asked him, what are you looking for? And he said, I'm not into, fake women. It's okay if they get a little work done, but he likes stretch marks. He likes seeing those tiger claws, which I thought was pretty funny, because that's exactly what they look like. And he was okay with it, which shocked me, because, you rarely hear a man saying that. So he has depth to him. And then they started talking about, his mistake of not introducing, his baby mama to the new woman and all this other stuff. So he does seem sorry about it. And I think he's learned his lesson. So that was interesting. Do you think he'll go out on a second date with her?
I think he was very attracted to her. So I think he would, yeah. I don't know. Something about me that like kind of said that she didn't have a lot of substance. I don't know, because I think it's because like when he started talking about natural body, she was kind of like looking off to the side.
Oh,
and
really?
it's like she kind of wasn't really adding anything to the conversation. And then when they finished talking about like his mistakes that he made, she was like, that was a good conversation. I'm like, who says that? It was like the way she said it. I guess you can't say like, oh, I really enjoyed that conversation or something like that. She's like, that was a good conversation. And I was like, but you didn't, I mean, I'm sure they were talking more than what we saw, but
right.
she didn't seem to add really anything to it. And she was just like flirting with him so hard.
Yeah, she was.
She asked him to feed her.
I know. And he was like, who asked someone to feed them on the first date? I don't think that happens that often. Yeah. And he was like, no, we're not allowed to do that.
I mean, why are you asking someone to feed you anyway? Like, if they want to do it, that's one thing, but like, feed you, what? Why? You have a fork in your hand.
That's true. And sushi is not sexy, okay? You have to open up real wide for him to get it in without dropping it.
That's so true.
Yeah. So we did find out, which I didn't know, is that Alfonso has 3 kids. I only thought he had 1, but he said he has 3 kids.
I can't remember sure if they had said that before or not.
So that date went well. And then Shay got to go on a date also, got to go on a date. And I thought he was really good looking, her date.
Oh,
the DJ, and he was funny, and she connected with him because of course she brought up the whole Alfonso situation, and she found out that he has a kid, a 1-year-old, and immediately that like her eyes lit up and she was like, okay, I'm gonna ask this dude. So she asked him, what happens if you have a good relationship with a woman that's serious? How are you going to handle that with the baby mama? And he basically told her what she was thinking, that he would find a way to introduce them so that it would be a seamless introduction, and the baby mama would know that this is my woman. She's going to be fully in my life, and let's make it work. And I think that's what most grown people would do. But one thing that he did, which I thought was really good, is that he pointed out that Alfonso knows what he's doing. He knows exactly what he's doing, and he's playing games. He knows that he should have ended it with this woman, but he chose not to. A clear cut, end to their relationship. And, Alfonso kind of acts like he didn't know what would happen when he didn't do that, but it's going to be messy. And he was like, if he can't see that, or if he's not willing to change that, then you need to leave him. And she's hearing that a lot, she's hearing it from her mom, from her auntie, from Dr. Nicole, from this guy that she don't even know. And so I think it's probably making her think, maybe I should leave him. But she won't. But, at least she's thinking about it.
I mean, yeah, I thought that conversation was good and it's important to her, but I just felt like she was using the date to kind of validate what it was really still all about Alfonso, validate her feelings and thoughts about their relationship. And she didn't really, take an opportunity to like really get to know him, at least in what we saw. So I was kind of disappointed in that.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Because she hasn't like really gotten to know any of her dates because she was so fixated on him.
Right.
And like this time she wasn't obsessed about his date, but it's just like
about this.
You're gonna let go of him if you are not opening yourself up to seeing what else, what else is possible for you.
Right. And what's missing from your relationship because you see this new person. Yeah. So I don't know. She has to work on that a lot more and stop being so obsessed with Alfonso because she's obsessed with him.
The thing is like you've been in a relationship with this guy for 3 years. You walked down the aisle with him and you said I do to him.
Right. Yeah.
It wasn't official, like because of like not having the right signatures, but like you married him.
Right.
And this man has not introduced you to his 3 children's mother. He has not introduced you to his mother, his own mother.
Right.
That's crazy. And you still can't put it together. Like, why y'all shouldn't be in a relationship?
Right. Or why he doesn't think she's worth those introductions. Like, that's what I don't get. Yeah, it'll be uncomfortable, but so what? Like, so we shall see. And then we have Miss Shorty and Mr. Kenneth. And so Shorty goes on a 3rd date, and it's a salsa date, which is something I would love to do because I love to dance. And, they had a really good time. He is smooth. He is really smooth. And she loves his confidence and that he takes charge and he's funny. And I love those pants that she was wearing.
Look, you need IJ out here because I'm just like if I remember everything that happened in the show. The clothes is a whole extra layer of
right. Well, it was cute. And so that date happened and ended. They have great chemistry. But she seems to have great chemistry with all her dates. But this guy, she really seems to have good chemistry with. So Kenneth did not go on a date. Instead, he had a much needed session with Dr. Nicole. And in this session, he voiced his concerns with their relationship and how she treats him and what she says about him and how she makes him feel that he's losing his voice. And Dr. Nicole was kind of like, maybe you need to look at your relationship and figure out, how you can change the dynamic of the relationship. So I don't know if she sided with him. I don't know, like, if she really helped him, but.
Yeah, I don't know either. I think, I don't know, like when they were in the final session, he did stick up for himself. So like maybe he is like trying to at least assert himself and like use his voice, but that's a lost cause.
Yeah. So at the session, he did do that, but that was a little bit of a mess because I didn't know who to believe. Like, Shorty's saying one thing, that she's paying the bills, and he's saying that he's paying almost all the bills. And then, she's saying that she shouldn't have to take care of him. And he's saying that you just started making a little bit more money than I've been doing. So who's telling the truth?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, because if it's like that, then why is she so upset with him? Does she not want to be paying any of the bills? Like, I don't know.
I wonder if it's like an age thing. Like, like that shouldn't matter, especially if he's contributing, but I don't know.
Yeah, it seems weird, right?
He does seem to be a little bit like kind of less aggressive, like he does. Maybe she just like walks over him. Maybe she just, because like she has said, like with the other guys, like she likes that they like to take control. Like she made a point to say like, oh, I can't let somebody else take control.
Right.
I think she feels, I get it. It could be more than just financial. Like, what if like she's having to make all the like responsible decisions and things like that,
telling him what to do all the time.
Yeah, and like feels like a mother to him, and I don't know, like he has a food blog thing, right? So I don't know if he quit like a 9 to 5 and started this,
but like 10 posts on that thing. I looked it up.
Like when you run your own business, you have to have some accountability. You make your schedule. You are responsible for doing everything that you need to do. And if she doesn't see him doing that or working as hard as she thinks that he needs to work to be successful, I can see that being frustrating. So yeah, I can see it being more than just financial and just like her feeling like she's his mother.
Right. Yeah.
And I think maybe that's kind of what it boils down to.
Which would be different from what we've been thinking this whole time, right? That, but I think that's part of the reason too, because it always seemed like she was the one making all the money and he wasn't making any money, and that might be because I still don't know who to believe. Yeah. So, but he's being bold. He's sticking up for himself, and sometimes it's kind of like you reap what you sow. So she might think, okay, I want a guy who's more take charge, who, will have more of a mind of himself. But when that starts happening, when you're always being the one who's taking the lead and the other person wants to start taking control, that might be hard for her to take too. She might not be wanting to give it up,
Oh, absolutely. Especially like I don't know how many like long-term relationships she's had, but if, like, obviously I don't think she's been married before. So she's had to take care of herself, for so long. So it would probably be a lot harder to have someone. It's just like, you almost don't trust someone else to do, to take care of you the way that you've been taking care of yourself. Right. Especially if you don't see them taking care of themselves that way. Right.
And you have to do everything. And you might not want to do everything. But once that person starts, trying to establish, dominance and control, you might be like, hold up, no.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
It's
So
a little harder for her. Yeah. So she
yeah.
just probably needs someone who's very stable,
Mhm.
who, I mean, like she said, I mean, even if he brings in money and he's successful in whatever he does, like if she doesn't feel like he's stable,
Right.
that could be a problem.
Right. Yeah.
If she don't
Someone
have to
did.
talk to him like that. Like I just felt so
She talks to him horribly. It's like
every single
emasculating.
week.
But it's gotten progressively worse
Mm-hmm.
because it wasn't that bad in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
And now she must be like, I'm over him or I'm over this shit. I'm gonna
But and it's very like passive aggressive in a way, like especially like when she's talking about what the other men like kind of bring to the table.
Yeah, that pissed him off because he was like, I feel like that was a jab. And I think it probably was a jab when she said, I don't mind when we were dancing. I realized that I don't mind giving up control. I don't mind someone else taking the lead. And yeah, I think that was kind of the jab. It was probably the truth, but a jab.
One thing I noticed about the date, when they were having that conversation about like what are we doing, remember she brought that up. I feel like what we didn't see is that maybe they had a conversation where I think she may have said that she couldn't like go out with him again.
Oh,
because he and they, I think they mixed up how like
the flow of the
editing.
conversation.
But he said something like, well, we live in the same city, so whatever happens, it's it's whatever, we could get up. He said something like that. And then she says like, yeah, because at this point a fourth date would be like cheating. So I think she kind of like let him know like, hey, I'm still interested, but I can't go on a fourth date with you.
So what do you think she's holding on to with Kenneth if she's so upset with their relationship? Kenneth has his own YouTube channel. I don't know have you seen any of the videos? I think he has a camera from like a phone from like 2001 because the video quality is so bad and cloudy. So, but it's a lot of like home videos, showing them having fun, doing stuff together, and not really her like being dominant, or maybe he's just capturing the good times and maybe it was early in the relationship. I don't know. But it seems like they have like a really fun, great relationship. But social media makes everything seem great. But I just wonder like what's keeping her there with him.
I mean, that could be it. Like, I mean, like she probably likes him as a person and enjoys, having fun with, but then I mean, there's probably like definitely aspects that she strongly likes about him. And then again, 3 years, like, at a certain point, it's kind of like you feel like you put in so much time that you need to keep pushing and keep trying, even if like it's never gonna get better, and it's like, but the longer you keep pushing and trying to hold out, the more time you're added on, and it's harder and harder and harder to let go.
I think that's definitely it.
The crazy thing is like sometimes, like I feel like more and more we've been seeing like couples that have been married for a really long time getting divorced, like the Currys,
the parents.
Bill Curry and Sonia Curry. And it's just kind of like, I mean, y'all been married for so long. Like, what
prompted you to do it? Why wait all this time?
And sometimes like couples in their like 60s and stuff, and it's just like, y'all are really, I mean, not in your 60s, you're not in your deathbed on your 60s, but like really
but still,
people that have been married for so long that it's just like, was it that bad? Like that now you have to leave? And I think it's just like, there's probably something they probably wanted to do or needed to do a long time ago, but you just invested so much time that you just don't do it,
Right. Yeah. Which is scary because you do invest all this time, it ends, and then you're at ground zero, starting all over again, old. Especially as a woman, that's hard. Okay, so let's go back to the second session, and Shay and Alfonso talk. And I really can't remember what happened. I think the doctor talked about, oh, you had already talked about it, how Shay was like, I did better. And the doctor was like, did you really? And she was like, yes. And she's like, I laid out the ground rules. And like you said, she's like, that's for him to do. So you could see,
I was so happy when she said that because I had written it down.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I was just like, not even doing the thing. So when the doctor brought it up, I'm glad he mentioned it so that the doctor could address it.
Right.
Yes. See, I should be a therapist.
All right. Yeah, so that's what happened with them. And Shay said that she's going to do better. Let's see if she actually does better, But I have to give her an A for effort because she did try. She did. Yeah, she did something. Or an E for effort. Let's do that instead. Okay, so then we go to the hot mess couple, Otis and Charlie. And once again, he was argumentative when they brought up their wants and needs, and he was defending himself. When, like in the interview session, he said that, I handled it wrong. I probably should have just, heard her and accepted what she said because that's how she feels. But that's not what he did at the group session and when she was telling him what she needed. So I don't know. I think it's just a wraps for them.
Yes.
Yeah. And I think last week she was close to doing it, but then he started crying. And then she was like, okay, let's give this a second chance, or third or fourth or fifth chance.
Yeah, she just seems so like deflated, like in those sessions. And I mean, her little antics over to the side annoy me, but it's still like, it's really difficult and like hard to not be heard, or to not feel understood. I think I think that's really what's important, like to understand what I'm trying to communicate. And I mean, I guess like they don't even get to the point where he can communicate anything. So I'm pretty sure he's feeling like he's not being understood as well. But
yeah, he definitely feels that way. But I think if you don't agree with him, he doesn't feel like he's being understood or heard, because he thinks that he's always right.
That's just
yeah.
They need individual therapy.
Yeah.
And they don't need to be in this relationship or any relationship. And they really need to work on themselves before they can even try to be with somebody else.
Yeah, I agree with that. But next week looks good. It looks like we learned that they're not allowed to go on any new dates. And is that what's happened in the past?
First date. They can't.
First dates.
Yeah. So they can pick either the person that they last dated or go back and pick someone else that they did.
Is that what they usually do?
No. Yeah, this is new. Yeah.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see who they choose. I think they showed some of them, but not all of them, but it'll be good to see.
I think they showed all of them.
Oh. Yeah, I think they did.
Because
we didn't see Shorty. We didn't see who Shorty chose.
She chose,
because it's only be two, right?
That was a guy, but I don't remember.
Because it's only been Hollywood and this guy, right?
Okay, yeah, I don't think we did see.
Yeah, they didn't show.
Yeah.
So we'll see next week. Well, all right, guys. Thank you for joining us. And please,
like, comment, and subscribe.
All right, we will see you guys on Sunday. Bye.
Bye.